My child, come close. I have been waiting for this moment with you, not because I had to wait, but because I wanted to. I wanted this time to be yours, just yours. I know you've been moving through your days with a quiet heaviness that you haven't been able to explain to anyone. You smile when you need to. You answer when people ask how you're doing. But deep inside, there's a place that still feels unsettled, a place that still wonders, a place that still reaches for something more. I know that place. I made it. And I made it so that only I could fill it. You are not here by mistake. You did not stumble into this moment by accident. I drew you here. I called your name softly, in the way only I know how, and you came. That tells me something about your heart. Even when you didn't fully understand what you were looking for, you were still looking. And that, my child, is faith. Real faith. The kind that moves even when it cannot see clearly. So please, stay with me here. I have things to say to you that are not general, not vague, not meant for everyone else in the room. These words are for you. I see you fully. I know you completely. And what I am about to speak into your life will reach the parts that have been waiting the longest. I want to start by telling you something that perhaps no one has said to you in a long time. You are doing better than you think you are. I know that sounds simple, but I need you to receive it, not just hear it. Because there is a voice that has been speaking to you, quietly but constantly, telling you that you are not enough, that you have fallen short, that the gap between where you are and where you should be is too wide to cross. That voice is not mine. I have never spoken those words over your life, and I never will. The voice I use builds. The voice I use calls forward. The voice I use looks at everything you've been through and says, you are still standing, and that is remarkable. Think about the seasons you have already survived. Think about the nights that felt endless, the mornings you didn't want to face, the moments where you had to choose between giving up and taking one more step. And think about the fact that you are here. You took the step. Every single time. Even when you were tired. Even when you were unsure. Even when no one was watching. You moved forward. That was not just willpower. That was my grace holding you when you thought you were holding yourself. I want you to understand that the things you survived were not designed to destroy you. They were designed to reveal you, to show you what lives inside of you. Strength that you never would have discovered in the easy seasons. Depth of character that only forms under pressure. A kind of compassion that can only grow in someone who has known real pain. You have been shaped by your hard seasons, not broken by them. Now let me speak to the waiting, because I know that is one of the heaviest parts of your journey right now. The waiting, the not yet. The days that pass, and the prayer that still has not received its answer in the way you expected. You've been faithful. You've held on. And still, the silence stretches. I want to sit with you in that place for a moment, not to rush past it, but to speak truth into it. When I am quiet, I am not absent. When my answer is slow, I am not indifferent. When the door stays closed, it does not mean I have forgotten what you asked me. It means I am doing something that cannot be rushed, something that, if I handed it to you too quickly, would not carry the full weight of blessing I intend for it. You have prayed for things and wondered why I haven't moved. But child, let me show you what I have been doing in the in-between. While you waited, I was removing obstacles you couldn't see. People who looked like blessings, but would have been burdens. Paths that looked promising, but would have led you away from where I was taking you. Mindsets inside of you that would not have been able to carry the answer I was preparing. I was working in the invisible, in the underneath, in the places only I can reach. You see the surface. I see the whole thing. And because I see the whole thing, I know that what you are waiting for requires a version of you that you are still becoming. Not because you are not enough right now, but because what I am sending toward you is so good, so full, so lasting, that I want every part of you to be ready to receive it without fear, without doubt, without the old weights pulling at your ankles. So the waiting has never been punishment. The waiting has been preparation. Let me speak now to the loneliness. Because even when you are surrounded by people, there is a kind of loneliness that lives in the quietest corner of your heart. A loneliness that comes from feeling unseen, from feeling like the people around you know your name but not your story, from carrying things too deep for small conversations, from smiling in rooms where you feel invisible. I see that. I know exactly where that lives in you, and I want you to know that you were never meant to carry that alone. I am not a distant God. I am not watching from somewhere far away, unmoved by your moments of aching. I am close, closer than the air around you, closer than the thoughts in your own mind. I am woven into the very fabric of your daily life, and every time you have felt alone, I have been the quiet presence that kept you from breaking entirely. Remember those moments when something unexpectedly brought you peace, when a memory came at just the right time, when a song said exactly what your heart needed, when a stranger said something kind that felt too specific to be coincidence. That was me. I speak in small things. I reach through ordinary moments. I use what is already around you to remind you that you are known, that you are loved, that you have not been left. You are never truly alone, not for a single breath. There are words others have spoken over your life that I need to address. Words that planted seeds of doubt in the soil of your identity. People who looked at you and decided what your limits were. People who called you too much or not enough, too loud or too quiet, too broken or too ordinary. People whose own wounds caused them to speak carelessly into your life. And those words, whether they came from family or strangers, from people you trusted or people you barely knew, found their way into the inner conversation you have with yourself every day. I want to uproot those words now. Every name that was placed on you that I did not write, I am removing it. Every label that limited how you see yourself, I am replacing it with what I have always called you. Every time someone told you that you would not make it, that your dreams were too big, that your mistakes were too many, that your past disqualified your future, those words were not spoken with my authority. I am the one who names you. I am the one who defines your worth. And what I say is this: you are chosen, you are purposed, you are valued beyond what any human measurement can calculate. Your life is not a mistake. Your story is not finished. Your best days are not behind you. Walk into each day knowing that the one who created the universe knows your name and chose your life on purpose. Now, I want to talk about the dreams you have been afraid to revisit. There are things you once believed, for things you once allowed yourself to hope for, that got set aside somewhere along the way. Maybe disappointment shut them down. Maybe someone talked you out of them. Maybe life just got so heavy and so practical that the deeper longings of your heart felt like luxuries you could no longer afford. But those dreams did not come from nowhere. I placed them in you, the specific kind of life you have imagined in your quiet moments, the things that light something up inside you when you think about them, the versions of your future that made you feel most alive. Those did not get there by accident. I wrote them into your heart before you were born. I am not asking you to chase them frantically. I am asking you to let yourself believe again, quietly, without pressure, without a timeline. Just open them, door a little. Just let the light back in through the crack, because when you do, I can begin to move. I honor the desires of a heart that trusts me. I do not plant a longing and then abandon it. What I placed in you was placed there with a plan, with a pathway, with a timing that is better than the one your anxiety has been trying to calculate. Give me the dream again, even the ones that feel foolish to say out loud, even the ones that have been quiet for a long time. Give them back to me and watch what I do with them. Let me speak to your relationships, because I know this area has held some of your deepest joy and some of your deepest pain. You have loved people who did not stay. You have given yourself fully to people who gave back only partially. You have forgiven more times than others would have. You have extended grace when your own heart was still hurting. And somewhere in all of that, you began to wonder if love was safe. If opening yourself up again was worth the risk. If the people yet to come into your life would be different from the ones who left wounds. Here is what I want you to know. Not every person who left was a failure of yours. Not every relationship that ended was a sign that you are hard to love. Some people were only ever meant to be in your life for a chapter, not the whole book. And when the chapter closed, it was not rejection. It was redirection. I am protective of the life I am building for you. I allow some people to exit because their presence was taking up space that I need for what I am bringing. I know that sounds hard. I know goodbyes hurt regardless of the reason. But there is not a single loss in your life that I have allowed without purpose, without plan, without something better already being prepared. Do not close your heart. A closed heart cannot receive what I want to give you. Let the wounds heal, yes, because I am healing them, but keep the door of your heart open. The right people are being prepared. The right connections are being woven. What is coming toward you in the area of love and friendship and community is going to far outweigh what was taken. Trust me with your heart. I will not be careless with it. I need to speak to the fear now, because underneath the waiting, underneath the loneliness, underneath the questions about relationships and dreams, there is often fear. A deep, persistent fear that says maybe it won't work out. Maybe I'm not made for the good things. Maybe hope is just something that leads to more disappointment. Maybe it's safer not to expect too much. I understand where that fear came from. It came from real experiences, from real pain, from real moments where things did not go the way you hoped. And when pain happens more than once, the heart builds walls to protect itself. That is human, that is understandable. But I need you to hear me now. Fear is not your guide. Fear was never meant to make your decisions. Fear will always tell you to stay small, stay safe, stay still. And staying still is not where your life is meant to live. I am bigger than every fear you carry. I am stronger than every risk you face. I am ahead of you in every situation that scares you, already knowing the outcome, already making a way through, already standing at the other side calling you forward. When I tell you to move, it is not because the path is without challenge. It is because I will be with you through every challenge on that path. You do not need to be fearless to obey me. You just need to move while trusting me more than the fear. That is all I ask. One step, then another, with me beside you. The fear does not get the final word. I do. Let me speak to your body and your health. Because I know this is an area where you have carried worry. Maybe there are things in your physical life that have caused concern. Maybe you have prayed about healing and wondered if I heard. Maybe. Your body has felt like a source of anxiety rather than a gift. I made you. Every part of you was designed by my hand with care and with love. And I am not indifferent to your physical well-being. My word is full of healing. My nature is restoration. I am not a God who looks away from suffering. I am a God who enters into it. Bring your body to me. Bring your health to me. Not with fear, but with faith. Believe that I am a healer, not in a theoretical way, but in a personal way. Believe that what concerns your physical life concerns me, and then rest. Not the rest of giving up, but the rest of trust. The rest that says I have placed this in your hands, and I believe you are doing something even when I cannot see it. I'm working in you, in ways doctors do not see, in ways that do not always appear on tests or in reports. I am moving in hidden places. Keep praying, keep believing, and as you do, let peace be your companion rather than fear. There is something else I want to say to you, and I need you to receive this carefully. You have been carrying guilt. Some of it is from things you actually did wrong, mistakes you made, people you hurt, choices you wish you could take back. And some of it is false guilt, things placed on you by others, standards you were never meant to carry, expectations that were never mine for your life. Let me speak to both. For the things you have genuinely done wrong, hear this, I already know. I knew before you did them. I know the full story, the context, the pain that was underneath the choices, the version of you that made those decisions. And I am telling you, if you have come to me with a sincere heart, you are already forgiven. Fully, not conditionally, not partially, the weight of it was already taken. You do not need to keep carrying what has already been removed. Stop punishing yourself for what I have already pardoned. And for the false guilt, for the shame that was handed to you by people who had no right to place it there, for the belief that you are fundamentally flawed at your core, I am releasing you from that now. That is not your inheritance. That is not my design for you. You are not defined by your worst moments. You are not the sum of your failures. You are my child, and I have called you to walk in freedom, not in chains of shame that were never yours to wear. Walk free today. Lift your head. The guilt was never meant to be your permanent residence. Grace is. I want to tell you about what is ahead. Not in specific detail, because some things I keep as surprises, because joy is sweeter when it is unexpected. But I want to give you a picture of the direction, a sense of where I am taking you, so that when the hard days come, you remember there is a destination worth moving toward. Ahead of you is rest. Not just sleep, not just vacation, but the deep rest of a soul that has finally found its footing. The kind of rest that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are supposed to be, doing what you were made to do, surrounded by people who truly see you. Ahead of you is laughter. Real laughter. The kind that comes from a heart that has healed, from joy that is not being performed for others, but genuinely felt. Days are coming where the weight will feel lighter, where the morning will feel like a gift again, where you will catch yourself smiling without trying. Ahead of you is purpose. Clear, satisfying, meaningful purpose. A sense of why you are here that goes beyond the mundane. Work that matters. Contributions that leave marks. A life that when you look back on it, you will say, that mattered. I used it. It was not wasted. And ahead of you is love, in whatever forms are right for your life. Friendship that is loyal and deep. Family bonds that are repaired, or new ones that are formed. And for many of you, a love that is specific and personal and everything you have quietly hoped for. I am moving you toward all of this, slowly in some areas, quickly in others, but always forward. I want to pray over you now. Father, I speak over this child of yours who has come to you today. I thank you that you have never once taken your eyes off them. I thank you that every prayer they've prayed, every tear they've cried, every night they chose to trust you even when it was hard, every one of those moments was seen and recorded and honored in heaven. I ask you now to bring peace to this heart, the kind of peace that does not make sense, that surpasses the ability of the mind to explain it. Let it settle deep in the places that have been restless for too long. I ask you to bring healing, physical, emotional, spiritual. Reach into the areas that are still tender. Touch what needs to be touched. Restore what has been broken. Repair what has been damaged by life, or by others, or by wrong choices. I ask you to speak clearly in the days ahead. Let this child hear your voice with greater clarity. Let the confusion lift. Let the path become clearer step by step. Let your guidance be unmistakable. I ask you to surround them with the right people. Remove what does not belong and bring in what does. Build a community around them that reflects your love and your faithfulness, and I ask you to let hope rise again in this heart today. Let the walls come down. Let the light back in. Let this child leave this moment carrying something they didn't carry before. Carry them forward into all that you have prepared, in the name above every name. Amen. My child, I'm still here. I want to keep speaking because I know your heart needs more than a moment. It needs to be reminded again and again until the truth sinks so deep that nothing can shake it loose. So hear me say it one more time. You are not forgotten, not in the smallest detail of your life, not in the biggest question you carry, not in the secret thing you have never told anyone, not in the hope you barely dare to whisper even to yourself. None of it is invisible to me. All of it is held by me. The season you are in right now is not permanent. Seasons never are. And just as surely as winter gives way to spring, just as surely as night gives way to morning, what has felt like a long, cold, grey stretch in your life is giving way to something new. The shift has already begun, even if you cannot feel it yet in your body or see it yet in your circumstances. In the invisible places, in the spiritual atmosphere over your life, something is moving. Keep your eyes open. Keep your heart open. Keep walking, because I promise you, and I do not make promises I do not keep, the best of your story is still being written. And every chapter that comes next will make more sense of the chapters that came before. You were made for this. You were made for life, for love, for joy, for purpose. And I am the one who made you, which means I am also the one who will make. Sure, you reach everything you were made for. Stay close to me. That is all I ask. Stay close, stay trusting, stay moving. And as you walk forward from this moment, know that I am walking with you, every step, every day, every season, all the way to the end and into what comes after. You are mine, and I am yours. Go forward, beloved. Your story is not over. It is only just beginning. Type Amen if this touched your heart. Share this with someone who needs to hear God's voice today.